Everyone is talking about a gold revaluation. How high will prices go? Who will pull the trigger? And when will it happen? But the question that you should be asking is, why is gold being revalued in the first place? The truth is, a formal gold revaluation is like a check engine light flashing on your dashboard. It's not the problem itself. It's a warning that something is seriously wrong under the hood. But the real problem? The accelerating collapse of the dollar, government overspending, and a financial system that's run out of road. Governments don't just revalue gold for fun. They do it because currency is failing, because confidence is slipping, because the system cannot sustain the weight of its own debt. But if you're only focused on gold revaluation's next price, then you're missing the bigger picture of why and what's coming next. A monetary reset, the ramifications of which could impact every aspect of life as we know it. So what's really going on under the hood? What does a gold revaluation tell us about what's coming next? And most importantly, how can you use this information to protect yourself? Let's get into it. Gold has been the ultimate store of value for thousands of years. And every time a country's currency starts to collapse, what do? They turn to gold. But don't just take my word for it. Look at history right here in the United States. In 1933, the U.S. was still in the depths of the Great Depression. The banking system was collapsing, and they needed a way to regain control. So what did? They revalued gold from $20.67 an ounce to $35 an ounce, nearly a 70% increase. But that wasn't all. Then came 1971. The Bretton Woods Agreement had held the U.S. to a gold standard, but the U.S. had printed far more dollars than there was gold. Foreign countries caught on, and they cashed in their dollars for gold, draining reserves at a rapid rate. Notice any parallels to today? We'll talk more about that in a minute. But first, what did Nixon do? Well, he cut the tie, temporarily suspending and delinking the dollar from gold. Of course, we know today it wasn't temporary, and it wasn't just that one move. No, they revalued gold at the same time, from $35 an ounce to $38 an ounce. And when that didn't work, they moved from $38 an ounce to $42.22 an ounce. And when that didn't work, they said, okay, we're going to abandon gold pricing altogether. We'll let it trade on the free market, at which point, of course, gold prices skyrocketed. And what happened to the dollar? Well, the printing press went wild, and of course, rampant inflation came into play, and the dollar was worth less, losing its purchasing power, the system that we still have today. But today, the United States is $36 trillion in debt. Inflation is only accelerating, and central banks are buying gold at record levels. But why? Because they see what's coming next. It's not a recession. It's not a market downturn. It is the collapse of paper money. It is the collapse of an illusion that has been decades in the making. For years, the entire system has been propped up on near zero interest rates, cheap credit, and easy money. But this isn't real growth. This is what has led to the everything bubble that we're in today, fueled by debt and speculation. But you can't print your way to prosperity. Look at the stock market. Companies are trading at insane valuations, but it's not based on fundamentals. And as that cheap credit becomes expensive and that easy money becomes hard, well, what happens? Smart money realizes that it's time to exit, and suddenly the illusion starts cracking. But when that happens, what do governments do? They don't admit failure. They certainly don't take responsibility. No, they reset the game. That's what a gold revaluation really is. It's a sign, it's a signal that the system is so broken that they have no other option, no other choice but to rewrite the rules. Right now, we're seeing massive amounts of physical gold flow into the United States. As Wall Street stockpiles millions of ounces of gold, Switzerland alone has exported almost 200 tons in the month of January alone, the most on record since the 2008 Great Recession. Does that sound normal to you? Why do you think that massive amounts of gold are flowing into the US? It's certainly not just tariff concerns. Let me know what you think the real reason is in the comments below, because I'll let you in on a secret. This is not a system where everything is fine. But if all that wasn't enough, we have London's vaults running dry with wait times for delivery escalating into months, and the mainstream media even talking about a gold revaluation. But again, it's not about the gold revaluation. It's about the collapse of the paper gold market and the collapse of confidence in the US dollar itself. For decades, the gold market has been manipulated through paper contracts, ETFs, futures, derivatives, allowing the biggest players to trade gold without ever touching the physical metal. But the problem is, this system only works if everyone believes that the gold is actually there. But that belief is crumbling for good reason. See, the system relies on only a small fraction of people ever asking for physical delivery. But now you have Wall Street, central banks, big entities, all demanding physical gold. And what happens when the gold isn't there? Well, the illusion shatters. Any of this sounding familiar, like what we talked about in 1971, where foreign countries demanded gold for their dollars, and the US was forced to shut the gold window? It's happening again, only this time there is no gold window to shut, only a massive reckoning to be had between paper gold and real gold, this time exposing the truth of the crumbling US dollar foundation beneath it all. So what does all of this mean? Well, it means three big things. First, the dollar's role as the global reserve currency is collapsing. Now, we knew this, but it shows that this is accelerating as countries like China and BRICS nations move away from the dollar and the entire world moves towards commodities, tangible assets like gold. Second, the financial elite are preparing for something big. Wall Street doesn't just stockpile tens of millions of ounces out of the blue. The U.S. Treasury Secretary doesn't just hint at a gold revaluation, regardless of whether he backtracked for no apparent reason. We are moving dangerously close to a tipping point. And number three, the big one, when governments revalue gold, it's not because they want to, it's because they have no other choice. It means that the debt is so out of control and the dollar has lost so much confidence that they have nowhere else to go. Just like we've seen throughout history, gold revaluation will be the emergency reset button they push when there are no other options left. So the question again isn't, will there be a gold revaluation? That is already in motion. The question is, will you be prepared for when it happens, or will you be left behind? Because here's what I know. People who are only focused on gold's price today are missing the big picture. They're missing the underlying reason why that this is the dollar's final reckoning, that history is moving faster. And again, you don't want to wait until it's too late. So if you're concerned about any of this, and again, wondering how you can protect yourself, the first step, of course, is education. It's understanding what's going on and why, which if you're watching these types of videos, you already have a great head start. Now, if you're like me and you want to take it a step further, we have created a free ITM Gold and Silver Guide, which I highly recommend that you download a copy of because you can reference it at any time and learn even more than I went over in this video. All you have to do is scan the QR code, call us, or click the link in the description below. But of course, education is key, but it's action that will truly protect you against what's coming next. So to understand how we can help you, like we have helped so many other people with physical gold and silver, prepare for what's coming next, not only so that you can protect your wealth, but so that you can set yourself up for opportunities on the other side, I also highly recommend that you talk to one of our expert analysts. Again, you can scan the QR code, call us at the number below, or click the Calendly link in the description. And in the meantime, I so appreciate you being here. I'm Taylor Kenny with ITM Trading, your trusted source for all things gold, silver, and lifelong wealth protection. Until next time.